My ending turned out so much better than the beginning. Welcome back to Writer's Theory. I'm James Winterthorne, and today I'm going to cover the next phase of editing on the novel that I've been writing here on YouTube. I left the last video hoping that I would have completed the markup phase of this editing process, where I went through and read the manuscript and made any notes and to make changes on the book itself. And so I did complete that. I have a video for the last portion of that to share, just so you can see what it looks like. And then now I've moved on to making those changes that I noted on the physical page. And I have the first portion of that to share as well. I opened this video saying that I preferred the ending to the beginning, or the end turned out so much better. And you'll see that as I share the two videos here, in that I had a good idea of what I wanted the end to look like as I was writing the story. But because the story started in a place of like a prompt, basically I was provided a story to write initially. So the first portion of the story is a little clunky. It's a little uninspired, and honestly probably requires a significant rewrite. At least the very first chapter does. So it is interesting to just look at the project as a whole and see how much I preferred the latter part of the story to the beginning of the story. So one of my efforts will be to rewrite that first chapter. That way I can introduce a very good hook in the first chapter and just encourage people to read it all the way through. Well, let's get right to it. Let's get to the last session of marking up the manuscript. And of course, I will voice over this portion of it and kind of share my thoughts as I went through this portion. The angle is still a little odd here, but this is much better than the very first one I did. So this is a little easier to see. But again, the first edit that I did was putting it through ChatGPT. And so most of the errors were caught, and I fixed those already. And so now I'm finding the things that I want to change, the choices that I want to make in the story versus any errors that were made. And I generally like how the story ended. And that is what I'm going through here, is the last and climactic scene in the story. It's funny that I had that highlighted thing there. I must have highlighted that for a reason and either fixed it and didn't remove the highlight. I don't know, but it's funny that was there. So yeah, I'm just going through and just making sure that the ending reads the way that I want it to. It came out pretty good, and I did generally liked how the ending came out. So there's some changes here or there. But it's pretty minimal. Overall, very happy with how the ending went. You can see, like, I'm making very few suggestions here for myself. Like, some pages almost have no writing on them whatsoever. And then getting into the epilogue, a very similar experience. And of course, the epilogue having the surprise line at the end, which suggests what really happened there. And so I thought I would just record the last session of me marking up the manuscript. I then went back, I created a new digital file to work on the next phase of this edit, which is to actually make these changes in the file and then update and have an even cleaner manuscript. And that's what I have to share next is I'm back to doing a screenshot of me going through and actually editing the manuscript. So I'm going to jump right into that. We'll do this last section here, and you can see what it looks like as I go through. Of course, you don't see the actual manuscript that I have, but you can see me making the changes that I noted on the page. I completely skipped the first chapter, not because there weren't changes to make. There were changes aplenty. I just don't like the chapter. So I'm going to consider what I want to do, probably rewrite the whole thing. So I picked up this step in the second chapter where I feel like I had better ownership of the story and didn't feel like I needed to rewrite it. So the suggestions I gave to myself, I'm probably just going to take and put these changes in starting in chapter 2. So what you're seeing here is basically the suggestions I made for myself. Some of them are me adjusting a sentence, rewriting a sentence, but most of it is just minor adjustments from what I noted. So it goes pretty quickly. And I'd imagine this phase of the process is going to go rather quickly. I'd imagine this was about a 25-minute session, which we're watching now, and I got about 7 or 8 pages done in that time. So if I keep to my hour per day, I should knock this phase out pretty quickly. I mean, maybe by the next time I record a video, I will be done with this phase, and then I have the rewrite for chapter 1 to do. Sorry, I was watching that and I realized that I might have an error in there that I have to go back and correct. But so this is excellent progress. I'm at a stage now again where this is more of there's less creative things to do here, and I can really just blaze through this pretty quickly. And who knows, maybe I'll find more than an hour each day and get this done sooner than I think. It'd be great to come back to you next week and have this done, have printed the manuscript again for another reader, and then be on to fun stuff like figuring out the title and how do I create a cover for this, that type of work. Because editing is certainly a long process. It's very important because you want to put out a good product. But I am very much looking forward to some of the more fun aspects of the preparing to publish aspect of this project. But things are going well. Like I stated earlier, I hope to be done with this in at least a week or no more than 2 weeks in this particular phase, and on to another step in the publication process rather than the editing process. So what I'm going to do is finish this, print it, give it to my wife to read. She's going to do this same thing of marking the manuscript, and I will then make those changes. But while she's reading that, I will have different content for you that's not editing related. So I think I'm going to ask for your help on choosing a title. So I think I'm going to put a few options together for what to call the book. And maybe I'll put a quiz in a video, and you can help me decide what a good title would be. In addition to that, I'm going to visit a local bookstore and do some research on what covers I like the look of the best, and use that for inspiration. Take some notes about what good covers look like today. That way I can be inspired and I can see what publishers think will sell books from a cover, because while we're not supposed to judge books by their cover, we most certainly do. So I have that to look forward to. So there'll be a video for that coming in the near future. If you would like to see that video and you want to see how the editing portion of this project goes and then the cover art and publication process goes, please like and subscribe. Ring the bell to be notified. It really does help the channel. And you can also provide some feedback to me about where to go with this project, other content that you'd like to see here at Writer's Theory. So with that, I'm going to get back to editing, and I will see you in the next video. And this is my editing project.